Now, it's exactly a month until the election, so is it time for a Minister for Men in the next government? Or the Moran thinks, yeah, it probably is. She, of course, spent years writing about women, but in her latest book, What About Men?, she turned her attention on the opposite sex. And the paperback is out now, isn't it?
Yes,
It's out now. What About Men? Do you think we need... Because we do have a Minister for Women, don't we? Should we have one for men also?
I mean, just logically, if you've got an equalities minister, it would need to be equals. You would need one for men and one for women. And I can see why initially women would be like, well, no, women have so many more problems, legally, financially, we need a minister. But in the start of the book, I've got this really sad list of the problems that men and boys have. So boys are more likely to be put on medication for disruptive behaviour at school, more likely to be excluded, less likely to go on to further education, more likely to be addicted to drugs, alcohol or pornography, more likely to be involved in knife crime and violent crime. They make it the majority of the homeless population and the prison population. The leading cause of death for men under the age of 40 is suicide, and 1 in 4 men over the age of 40 say they have no close friends. So that's a problem with men. And if there was a list of problems like that about women... Feminism is there, and we'd have campaigns and hashtags and we'd be talking about these things. And we've been so good about talking about the problems of women and girls. But there isn't really a conversation about the entire state of men and boys at the moment.
Well, apart from this, I mean, I learned so much from this, Kathleen. I really did. Because obviously I've got a daughter, so I've never had to bring up a boy.
Same.
So I don't know enough about it. And I just think it's really, really sad. If there was a Minister for Men, would it have to be a woman? In a sense, do you think... I mean, I only ask that because, I mean, women tend to get more things done in that respect.
We are... exactly. I mean, it took a woman to write a book about men. If you want something done, ask a busy woman. I guess it wouldn't matter who it was, but there are definitely things like... From doing the tour last year, you get to meet amazing people at the signings afterwards. And the amount of teachers that I met who went, the problem with boys starts at 6.
Right.
Before the age of 6, boys and girls are the same. They hold hands, they hug, they kiss, they cry, they talk about their emotions. Around about the age of 6, you start hearing, boys don't hold hands, boys don't cry, man up, are you gay?
Oh, geez.
And if you think about what it is, little boys are being told that they can't have all these emotions, their lives become smaller. Girls are allowed to carry on as they are, but boys' lives get smaller and the amount of things they're allowed to do and the amount of emotions they're allowed to have becomes smaller. And that's why you see, 10 or 15 years later, these boys become angry and then they become fans of people like Andrew Tate.
And that is scary. I mean, I knew he was scary, but after reading your book, remember that I read the hardback, obviously, you were in talking about that, and I went away and did an awful lot of research on it. It's terrifying, Kathleen. It really is scary.
My understanding is that every school in this country has had to have a staff meeting to talk about how disruptive Andrew Tate fans are in school.
Horrible.
So this is like the effect that it's having on everyone's education. But if you, the research I did on Andrew Tate, he himself was a really sad boy. You know, his father was constantly absent, and whenever Andrew Tate would do something wrong, his mother would write a list, and when his father came back, he would beat him. And so these boys that hero worship Andrew Tate as this alpha male who's going to teach you how to rule the world, they need to understand there's a really sad and upset little boy in there.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to start de-radicalising these boys who are his fans, you know, you need to start... We need people to start talking about him as he is. He's a very troubled and upset little boy.
It's really interesting, though, with this book, because, you know, obviously you wrote about women, of course, and everybody, it sparked a lot of discussion, as has this. But this also had a bit of a backlash as well, which I find quite strange.
I find it really weird. But, you know, it's like, if you're a woman, everything you do is a bit controversial. So, like, and I think the fact that it was a woman writing about men, it was just kind of like, I think it was like kind of, I didn't think like men wanted some kind of like Lady David Attenborough looking at them like they're a species and going, these are your problems. But I think women are better at noticing these problems. You know, we're the ones that notice what's going wrong. And so the main people I've had reading the books are women who are worried about their husbands. For instance, husbands will not go to the doctors. They, whatever pain or ache they're having, however big the lump is on their elbow, they will just not go to the doctors. So we did lots of research about why that is. And I was really surprised because a lot of it is men are just... a lot of them were scared, a lot of them were stoic, but a lot of them said, I don't want to be in the queue before women or children or elderly people.
Oh, that's
And there's this self-sacrifice that often men have. So the book is very... the word I used the most often when I was writing is heartbreaking, because men don't like to complain about things. They are quite stoic and they don't know how to start the conversations about these problems they have in their lives. So if it takes women to start that conversation, then I'm happy to do it.
Exactly. Well, look, we're two women talking about men.
I know, right?
We've actually got a man in the kitchen.
Amazing.
Tyler, come and sit beside us. Come and talk to us, because Tyler does an awful lot of work. He's an ambassador for the Prince's Trust, and I know you do an awful lot of work talking about mental health with men.
Yeah.
And we are getting a little bit better at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, it's taken a woman to write write this book.
It does, and do you know what? We're very grateful for the conversation about it, because it is inspiring. It does take that conversation to spark change as well. I've worked, like, I was a manager of an alternative learning provision, so I would work with children that couldn't conform to mainstream education because of all the problems that you listed.
Yeah.
And there were, like, similarities within their background, so the statistics are mind-blowing, but, you know, with families that are growing up, like, my mum was a single mum, but I do think there's an environment, like, choice there. The environment that a young boy is surrounded in means that it can honestly go from one extreme to another in terms of, like, you can be exposed to so many sort of negative environments, so many sort of negative behaviours then later on in life. But I feel like there is a choice behind it as well. Like, I did sport, I did music, I surrounded myself with, like, some inspiring men as well. And I feel like that has sort of helped me on my journey to sort of not go down that route as well. And that was a lot of the young boys that I was working with, that was a similar case.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, you want role models, don't you?
Exactly.
And I think the thing is, I think women are slightly better at talking about their role models and their heroes and why they love them. There isn't quite that fandom from boys about their role models. And I want boys to be able to openly say, I love this man. He's really inspiring to me, without worrying that someone
which is wonderful. We need to have people like you.
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
Do you know what it is?
You are a role model. No, you are. I know you laugh at that, but it's true.
I think it's one of those cases that, like, I always say it, like, wherever you start off in life definitely doesn't determine where you end up.
That's
like,
very
I come
true.
from, like, the biggest council estate, single mum, and we didn't have anything, but also it is surrounding yourself around some positive people and also a positive environment, and knowing that there is a choice there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You don't have to get involved in the gang culture of life. You don't have to be involved in, like, falling out of education. Like, there is a choice. I was there, and now I'm, like, sat here talking about it, and it just means that any young boy out there definitely can do the same thing.
That's good.
It does.
Will we make a minister of men?
That's literally here, there you go.
I've got to read the book first. That's it.
I think we have to do that. I really do. Callan, it's a great book, What About Men? It has sparked a lot. Marina Hyde's right. Eye-opener, page-turner, women translator, guy empowerer.
Oh.
It's good, isn't it? I like that.
Well,
That's
I love that.
fantastic.
I think with the books that I've written about women, I had so many men reading it and going, oh, now I understand women. It was like a manual to women. And I've had so many women read this and go, now I understand why my husband won't go to the doctor. Now I understand why my son is locked in his bedroom on his own.
Oh, I know. Well, I think it really helps. It just helps. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you. Yeah,
Where are you off to
Sheffield,
next?
Norwich on Wednesday, Sheffield on Thursday, then I'm done.
Fantastic. Excellent. It's great to see you. And Tyler, we'll see you later.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so
Lots coming up. And What About Men? It's out now. You can pre-order and stuff like that, but it's Thursday officially.
Yeah.
But the great thing is about books now, you can just order them beforehand.
Which I obviously encourage you to do. Yes.
Indeed.